Hi guys, so the topic that we are doing today is basically C5, which is the last topic of chapter C, which we call it as progressions. In simple words, progression is basically the three different series that we need to know, which is arithmetic progression, geometric progression, and harmonic progression, and so on. So the series are broadly classified into two types. One is called as finite series and one is called as infinite series. And probably you would have guessed it correct also, as the name suggests, finite series is the one which will has the countable number of terms. That is, you can count the number of terms, 10 terms, 15 terms, 1000 terms, whatever it is. And infinite series is the one wherein which the number of terms are infinite terms. That means you can't count them really. So whatever three basic series that we are going to study, AP, GP, HP, they all three come under a category of finite series. And then there is a another altogether different and extra additional concept of infinite series, infinitely diminishing series, which we also need to explore. So let's start with the first of the type, finite series. In that, the first one is arithmetic progression, or in simple words we call it AP. The biggest identification, that how do we understand that this particular series is a arithmetic progression, the simple identification for that is the difference between the two consecutive terms has to be constant. The difference between the two consecutive terms has to be constant. For example, all these terms that we are seeing right now, 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, 22, if you observe very carefully, all these terms, the consecutive two terms, the difference is constant, which is 4 in this case. And that is how you can be sure that this is a arithmetic progression. The terminologies, the first term is also called as T1, is also called as small a. The common difference is called as small d. In this case it is 4. And then suppose if somebody asks me that if this is the series, this is the AP, tell me what is the 30th term of the series. Now obviously I can't manually keep adding 4 every time and get my answer, right? That will take too much of time. So there has to be a formula present wherein which we can just substitute the values and accordingly get the term, which is called as the nth term of the arithmetic progression, which is denoted by Tn. And that Tn is given by a very simple formula, a plus n minus 1 into d. A plus n minus 1 into d. So Tn for arithmetic progression is given by this particular formula. If you know the series, you will know a which term you are supposed to count, 38 terms suppose, so you know the value of n also, which is 30. And if you know the series, again you know the value of d. All you have to do is just substitute these values in this particular formula, count the calculation and get your answer. Then there is another formula as far as AP is concerned, which is called as sum of the first n terms of the series. Now suppose somebody asks me in this particular example, what is the sum of first two terms? I know that it is 2 plus 6, which is 8. If somebody asks me what is sum of the first three terms, it will be 2 plus 6 plus 10, which will be 18, and so on. So similar way, if somebody asks me what is the sum of first 15 terms, obviously I can't keep on adding every time. There has to be a formula wherein which I can just directly substitute the values and get the answer. So the formula, there are two formulae for Sn of AP. One of them is n by 2 a plus Tn, and one of them is n by 2 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Actually both the formula are same only. All we are doing is from the first to second formula, we are just substituting Tn ka value, which is a plus n minus 1 into d. So a plus a becomes 2a. So first formula, a plus 2n, you use when you know the nth term of the series. When you know 15th term of the series, you would directly substitute that value there. But suppose you don't know the nth term of the series, then you would use the second formula. So according to the situation, according to the data also, you can have these specifications that you want to use with. Then before we go to the next series, there are certain standard things that you can generalize in terms of writing certain terms in a specific order or specific way. The first note is if three numbers are in AP, and as usual, whenever you are supposed to write down the three numbers or any odd number for that matter, odd number of terms, you always start with the middle number and then you write one before that and one after that. For example, something like this: A minus D, and A plus D. The reason to write this in a very smart way is that when you add these three terms all together, what you will end up getting is that minus D and plus D gets cancelled and you are left with only 3A, only one variable for your further simplification. And this is why this is a way better option than writing, A plus D and A plus 2D and so on. If you add those, you would not get, you would not have one variable, you will have two variables to deal with. So that complicates your simplification unnecessarily. So try to keep things as simple as possible, and hence these are the ready-made smarter ways that we are trying to tell you in terms of simplification. Similarly, suppose you are writing four numbers in AP as a generic form or as an assumption. Now four numbers, there is no one middle term, there will be two middle terms, which will be A minus D and A plus D, and then one before that and one after that, which will be A minus 3D, and on the right extreme side it will be A plus 3D. Again, why this only? Because when you add all of them, minus D minus 3D plus D plus 3D will get cancelled and you will have just one variable to deal with, which will be 4A. And in this case, the difference is not D, but it is 2D, because going from minus D to plus D, you require a transition of 2D, and hence this is a very unique way of writing that up. The third and the last part, which is a even further important aspect of this arithmetic progression, which is the middle term of the arithmetic progression. The middle term of any arithmetic progression will be the arithmetic mean of the entire series, as in it will be the average of the entire series. But mind you, this is only possible when you have odd number of terms in the series, because when you have odd number of terms in the series, only then you get a unique number or a unique middle term. Now for example, if I just very quickly go back to that series, I know it's a AP, and suppose if I want to restrict it to just three terms, which is the first three terms, which is 2, 6 and 10. It's a AP 2, 6, 10, common difference is 4. The middle term, which is in this case is 6, and if you observe, the 6 is the average of all these three terms. Average, I'll have to add all three of them. 2 plus 6 plus 10, which is 18. 18 divided by 3 will give me 6. So the middle term of the arithmetic progression is the arithmetic mean, or in simple words, it is the average of the entire series. But mind you, that is only applicable for odd number of terms. So these are the things that you need to remember in terms of formula, in terms of concepts, as far as arithmetic progressions are considered. The second finite series is called as geometric progression. Again, the identification for AP, it was the difference is constant between the two consecutive terms. For geometric progression, it is the ratio between the two consecutive terms is constant. The ratio between two consecutive terms is constant. If such is the scenario, then you say that the numbers are in geometric progression. As you all can see here, if I keep multiplying every term by 3, I will keep getting the next term. So basically, the point is 486 upon 62 gives me 3, 162 upon 54 gives me 3, 54 upon 18 gives me 3, 18 upon 6 gives me 3, 6 upon 2 gives me 3. So the ratio between two consecutive terms is constant. This is called as GP, or geometric progression. As usual, the same specifications. The first term is T1, is also called as small a. Here it is common ratio, which is called as small r. And as usual, there has to be a direct formula of any of the terms to figure out, which is the nth term of GP, which is given by Tn is equal to a into r raised to n minus 1. If you know the GP, you'll know a, you'll know r, and which term you are supposed to figure out, that also you know. So you also know the value of n, and this is how you can figure out the nth term of the GP directly by just substituting and calculating this simple expression. The last formula, as usual, sum of first n terms of GP is also given by a formula a into r raised to n minus 1 upon r minus 1. There is another formula that you can remember in that regards Sn के लिए, which is a into just reverse of this 1 minus r raised to n upon 1 minus r. Now why two different formulae? The first formula that you use is when r is greater than 1, and the second formula that you use when r is less than 1. You can just have some specific answers or some specific reasons for that, but it will be helpful if you remember it like that. Ideally there is no big change if you observe both the formula. All we are doing is just multiplying by minus 1 in both numerator and denominator, and we get the second formula. So this is the reason, because imagine when r is greater than 1, the first formula will give you the positive answer, but if r is less than 1, the first formula will give you negative answer, and hence just to tackle that we have made the second formula. So accordingly you can use whichever that you want to, or you can just remember any one of them, as long as you are able to uh, take take into consideration the sign change factors. If you're good with that, no need to worry at all. So these are all the formulae as far as geometric progressions is concerned. As usual, the three notes in a similar fashion. The first one, three numbers are in GP. You write the middle one first, then one before that and one after that, which is a by r, a and ar. The same reason, when you multiply all three of them, r and 1 by r gets cancelled. You are left with one variable. Four numbers in GP, you write the two middle terms, a by r and ar. One before that, a upon r cube, and one after that, ar raised to 3, wherein which the common ratio will not be r in this case, but it will be r square. Why this is the better way? When you multiply all four of them, all the r's will get cancelled and you will be left with just one variable, and hence that's a easier scenario to solve. The third and the last note, as usual, the middle term of geometric progression. The middle term is the geometric mean of the entire series, but only possible when you have odd number of terms. Why so? Because odd number of terms will give you the unique middle term, and hence we apply this note only for the odd number of terms. Only then you get a unique middle term, and that can be the geometric mean of the entire series. Third one, harmonic progression. Harmonic progression is actually inverse of arithmetic progression. Basically a progression where the reciprocals are in arithmetic progression. So basically these all numbers, 1 by 2, 1 by 5, 1 by 8, 1 by 11, 1 by 14, all these are called as harmonic progression. Why so? Because when you consider their reciprocals, which will be what? 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, and you will realize that 2, 5, 8, 11, 14 are in arithmetic progression, and hence whenever reciprocals are in arithmetic progression, the series is called as harmonic progression. And the good thing about this is there is just one formula that you need to know, which is the nth term of the harmonic progression. And because the series itself is a reciprocal of AP, the nth term is also the reciprocal of nth term of AP. And if you remember, the nth term of AP was a plus n minus 1 into d. So nth term of HP is 1 upon a plus n minus 1 into d. So these are the three series AP, JP, HP. They all come under a category of finite series. Why finite series? Because we know that we can actually count the number of terms using all these formulae. So that's the first half of this particular topic. The second half, as usual, discussed was infinitely diminishing series. Yeah, we call it infinite series because it has infinite number of terms that we can't count in simple words. But mind you, any random series cannot be an infinitely diminishing series. There has to be certain criteria that needs to be fulfilled. So any series which fulfills the three criteria, the following three criteria, will be called as the infinitely diminishing series. So what are those criteria? Let's get into that. The first of that is it has to be a GP. It cannot be possible for AP or HP to be an infinite series. It has to be a geometric progression only. The second criteria is the definition itself, that it should have infinite number of terms, not very great in that regards. And the third and the most important criteria as well, which is the value of R. So sometimes, these are your hints which will let you realize that, oh, the question might be of the infinitely diminishing series, which is predominantly the value of R. So for infinitely diminishing series to happen, the value of R is between -1 and +1, as in mod of R is less than 1. That means R is between +1 and -1, as in R is in decimal. So whenever most of the times you see that R is in decimal point system, you be a little careful that probably the cases of infinitely diminishing series. And these are the three criteria. Any series which fulfills that will be called as the infinitely diminishing series. Obviously the formula cannot be for Tn, because infinite terms we can't really calculate that, but there is just one formula which is sum of first n terms for the other series, but here it will be sum of first infinite terms, which is called as, instead of Sn, it is called as S infinity. And because it is GP, so all we need to know is GP ka Sn ka formula. GP ka Sn ka formula, if people know, A into 1 minus R raised to n upon 1 minus R, the formula, the other formula that I had given, it is similar to that, and I'll tell you how you get from that formula this one particular formula. Sn I said was A into 1 minus R raised to n upon 1 minus R. This was for GP when R was less than 1, if you remember. In yes, R is less than 1, which is in decimals. We already know n is infinity, which is such a very high number, and R is in decimal, 0 point something apparently as an example. So 0 point something raised to a very big number will practically be 0, but we cannot actually call it 0. It is, very less, is as good as 0, but we can't actually write 0, and hence that part goes off. So in the numerator we are left with A into 1, because that -0, 1 minus 0 is 1 itself. So in the numerator, hence we are only left with A, and then in the denominator 1 minus R. So this is the formula for sum of the infinite terms S infinity, A upon 1 minus R, and that's your infinitely diminishing series. So folks, that's it for today. From this progressions topic, we covered finite and infinite, we covered AP, GP, HP, and then lastly, infinitely diminishing series. You will need to know all these formulae and all these technicalities around them and the concept part. Only then probably you will be able to solve the question in a better manner. Hopefully you would understand everything. If nothing, go through this one more time. If you have any further questions and queries, do let us know. Thank you so much.